You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, in case you have not been paying attention to everything going on, the pundits in the NFL draft world, Shedeur Sanders seems to be plummeting, all right? Now, of course, we came out of the combine, the NFL combine. God, I may try to be there next year. And, of course, there were stories that came out involving these one-on-one, not one-on-one, these one-on-teams player interviews. In other words, these players come in, sit with teams, I believe it's for about 15 minutes, and Sanders came off in some of those meetings as aloof or uninterested, when you would think that, especially for an NFL quarterback, you would be putting your best foot forward, trying to portray yourself in the best manner, right? Obviously, NFL teams didn't appreciate that, or it wouldn't have came out from multiple sources, right? I know Todd McShay had a big sort of bombshell report on that, and again, that's the draft pundit I like to listen to the most, Daniel Jeremiah being another one. But nonetheless, you got mock drafts starting to roll out now, all right? And there are things to like about Shedeur's game. He's got very good accuracy. But the problem is, in this day and time, his athleticism is not very good, all right? He's slow. He's not Caleb Williams. A lot of people would say, thank God, but think about this. The following phrase scares the crap out of me with Sanders. He's like Caleb Williams without the athleticism. Yikes. And he would be behind at least the first 4 or 5 quarterbacks taken last year, right? But we heard it's going to be Cam Ward and then Shedeur Sanders. I'm still not too sure Jackson Dart is not going to jump Shedeur Sanders. I'm really starting to wonder about that. But these mock drafts are coming out now, and Sanders is dropping. Now, whether or not his attitude is part of the Deion Sanders plot to try to get him to better teams further down in the draft, I don't know. All right, you could say, well, this is not about money because, well, his dad is primetime, right? He's got all the money in the world between the NFL and formerly NFL Network, and then, of course, is the coach of Colorado football. So here we go right here. Veteran options like Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson remains in free agency, while Sanders and Miami's Cam Ward are arguably the top passers in the draft class. Ward is 6'2", 219, led the nation in touchdown passes, 39, and finished second in passing yards, 4,313, with 7 interceptions, earning Heisman Trophy finalist honors. Sanders wasn't far off, 6'1.5", 212 pounds, led the nation in completion percentage while throwing for 4,134 yards. 37 touchdowns, 10 picks. Now, his accuracy, like I said, is very good. But do you want Sam Bradford now? Is that what you're looking for? Sam Bradford he's considered a bust, and he was among the most accurate quarterbacks of all time. Now, I don't know if anybody's wanting Sam Bradford these days. I don't know if that works. I mean, he wasn't ultimately considered a great draft pick. According to a new mock draft from Athlon Sports, Luke Easterling projects Ward as the number 1 pick to the Titans. And despite the option for the Browns and the Giants to take Sanders, the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, he is projected now to land outside of the top 20. He's not the only one. We'll get to CBS Sports in a second. If this is starting to come out like this, that's not a good sign. Easterling projects Sanders to be taken number 21 overall by the Pittsburgh Steelers, which lost Justin Fields to the Jets in free agency. Additionally, Wilson could take a similar path. Quote, the fall finally stops for Sanders, who is arguably the biggest wild card in this year's draft, Easterly wrote. Even the Steelers signed a veteran bridge quarterback in free agency, making Sanders their long-term plan would be a no-brainer. So, in other words, yikes. We're talking going from what I think a lot of people thought before the college season he was going to be the number 1 overall draft pick. That's what all the talk was out there. Now we're talking number 21. Well, it gets worse, folks. It gets worse. Right here, this is sportingnews.com, but CBS Sports, this week's CBS Sports show, quote, with the first pick, held a mock draft. Ryan Wilson, Josh Edwards had the younger Sanders falling all the way to the near the end of the first round. I started hearing that too. All right. I'm starting to hear a lot of that kind of stuff. Towards the end or out of the first round, first of second round has been uttered across many of these draft pundit shows. Yeah, it's a thing right now. Quote, all right, pick 26. The LA Rams are on the clock. Let's do this. Shedeur Sanders, come on down. You're going to the Rams, and this feels like a great fit for a number of reasons. If you want to be in a big market, LA's the place to be. You could bring plenty of glitz and glamour to the Rams team that has already had a plenty of that. Matthew Stafford is not going to play forever. Behind him, they have Jimmy G and Stetson Bennett. I still think Stetson Bennett's got something in there to be a player, but he was drafted older, and I just don't know if he's gonna ever get a chance. And, oh, by the way, they have Sean McVay, who seems to enjoy challenging himself and finding ways to win football games in new and exciting ways. So, yes, Shedeur Sanders slips to 26. Wow. So we got one at number 21. We got another one at number 26. Keep in mind, right? And Josina Anderson was out there trying to cape for be Superman for Sanders because an NFL quarterbacks coach from the combine called it brash and arrogant. That was the other report that came out besides the Todd McShay thing. So this is starting to not look good at all for Shedeur. I mean, look, his size is okay, but he's not Drake May. He's not 6'4", 220. This is not Josh Allen. This is his athleticism is not there. He didn't run a 40, by the way. I'm sure he'll run one at his pro day, but Cam Ward is clearly the best quarterback in the draft. But there's a lot of arguments over Jackson Dart now and Shedeur Sanders. And the one reason I like Jackson so well, decent size, above average arm, he's played a boatload of college football. A ton of games, okay? And big programs, right? So that just tells me right there. I'm hoping. I think you're starting to see. I don't know that we'll ever see the Zach Wilson, Mark Sanchez, Anthony Richardson. That's biting teams in the ass, taking these quarterbacks that haven't even played in 20 games. I'm hoping that's gone now because those guys can't play. All right, and it's obvious. There should have been a hang around in school for a lot of these guys. Some people believe Mark Sanchez would have been a really good quarterback if he would have played 2 more years at USC. He didn't. He went to the Jets, and it ended up being a disaster. Trey Lance is another great example, right? COVID played that 1 year, and it was a disaster for the 49ers. Even Mac Jones didn't play enough in college, far as I'm concerned. And you guys know I like Mac, but, could have needed more seasoning. Tell me what you think. I'm hoping NIL money will actually hold some of these guys back from jumping in. I think Quinn Ewers should play another year. I do. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.